Let me fucking scoot back a little so I don't punch the microphone.
Hey, come listen to our podcast, yeah. Please listen, it's a hitch. If you don't listen to our podcast, yeah, then you are a bitch.
Maybe that one.
All right, everyone, welcome to Filmoscopy, a show where right now two friends are talking about movies that they've picked. Our third co-host / editor of the show, Cody,
he's beating his meat right now.
He's beating his meat in the shower, and hopefully he'll be joining the show shortly. But I am today's host, Lance, so forgive me when you see the title of this episode. And today, also with my co-host, the young but old at heart, Owen.
Hello.
And today, we're going to be talking about new things before we get to the main topic. But the main topic today is Friday the 13th. Jason takes a cruise ship. Jason takes Vancouver. Jason takes Manhattan.
Wait, so Vancouver, was this filmed in Vancouver?
Well, the scenes, like the seedy scenes, like when they get up to the boat dock and they're running around, that's not like New York when they're on the strip. That's all shot in Vancouver. They shot in New York for like 2 or 3 days. That's all they could do. And they use that for the beginning credits and then the last like 10 minutes of the movie. That's all legitimate New York. But when they're like going and like when they're on the back alleyways and then like when they're boating, they're docking the boat and all that. That stuff's Vancouver.
Yeah.
But so start off with Owen.
Yes.
I don't know. You were born in the year of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in 1999, right before 2000, right? Or was it in 2000?
Yeah, I was born in 2000.
Okay, so I don't know. In 1999, there was a movie that came out. I actually have it playing on my TV as a background. It's called Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, it's a little underground film.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% underground undertaking, if you will. Some might say it's on the level of Blade Runner, but the director's cut, not actually the producer's cut.
Maybe even better than that, honestly.
It might be. I will say this: I prefer the cut of Blade Runner where it hints that Deckard is actually human. And I know Ridley Scott says Decker's a machine. Everybody else has said no, he's human.
Yeah, he's like the only one that does. It's really funny.
Yeah, then he said in interviews like, I think Harrison Ford has changed his opinion. I'm like, I've never said that. Harrison's never said that, you twat. Anywho,
old Ridley Scott, you little goober.
Old Ridley. I'll tell you about another Ridley, Daisy Ridley. She played in Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9.
And what about Ridley from Super Metroid? Perhaps.
Oh boy, what about Ridley? The porn star.
There probably is. That is
yeah.
That is Daisy Ridley, I think.
Yeah, no. That's somebody else that looks like her. So I was playing a game that came out on the PlayStation 1, and it was re-released. It's a, what do you call those games where it's not a remaster? They just port the game out to emulate it. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, you were playing it on your PS4.
I was playing on my PS5 actually.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was actually released by Disney. I'm assuming they're just using the damn, what did I just call it? It's called a fucking, God, what's the fucking verb I just used? It's not a true remaster. It's just like,
it's just a port or an emulation or something.
Yeah, emulation. So I'm assuming they use emulation when they put these games out because this game was cheap.
Yeah.
So it's Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace official movie game. And I remember my youngest cousin at the time, Dylan, had the game on PlayStation, and I played it. And I can't remember if I borrowed it or I ended up buying it from like a pawn shop or something like that. Never could get past a certain level, like at fucking all, like the third level of the game. It's an incredibly hard game. It's a platforming game, third person, almost semi-open world, and there's no fucking map, and there's no other camera angle than what you see. Like it is. It's a difficult game.
Can't you kill anybody you want in that game?
You will run into a lot of issues if you do that. I did that.
Yeah, like it breaks the game or something, but you can still do it if you want.
Yeah, I think at one point, if you're Qui-Gon and you kill a bunch of people with Tatooine, you'll
Yeah.
go up to Padme and she goes, apparently there's a monster killing innocent people.
You're like, I wonder. I don't know who that could be, dude.
She said that to me too, but I think if you kill enough people, because I've seen a playthrough, you go up to Anakin, he goes, murderer, and he runs away.
That's funny.
So I got on this game. It was for $4 plus tax on PS5, and I could actually download the PS4 version of it too for free.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, 2 versions of the same game for $5. Why not? And then I found that there was a no death code. So unless you jump off a cliff, fall off a cliff, or get cut up by a machine, you cannot die. You just get shot in the face by all these droids and not do a fucking thing. You won't die. I'll tell you this: there's no fucking way on God's green earth I would have beat this game if I didn't have that code. There's just no way. And then I even got to a level when you're Padme and you're running through the Garden of Theed. You have to protect Captain Panaka. And it is difficult as hell. I kept doing it, so I eventually put the code back in and skipped to the very last level. So the very last level is intermediate battles. Like you're still Padme trying to get to the Viceroy, and then you're Obi-Wan trying to get to Darth Maul and Qui-Gon. What you have to do is you have to pull these big-ass blocks, certain areas. It's like a fucking maze. It's so fucking weird. Like, there's no way Qui-Gon Jinn would have survived that long, because it took me almost a fucking hour to get to him. And, yeah, it's just ridiculous. I understand why they didn't put this shit in the movie. But I played the game, and I actually beat it. Like I said, I'm just getting my ass kicked, but no death, baby. So I just ended up killing Darth Maul and shit. Yeah, it was rough, man. That game is just fucking rough. Like, even the graphics, it'll make you dizzy.
Yeah.
Because the camera angles are so jarring. But I'm like, I want to beat this game. I never beat this game before. But yeah, it is funny when you sit there and like you accidentally, like if you kill somebody who's fucking with you, then other people try to fuck with you, and then Jawas start fucking with you. Then I accidentally killed some of the Jawas animals they were riding, which I didn't want to do. And by the way, you can like pause at any moment and rewind it like 30 seconds to undo anything you've done. So I tried to save all the animals I couldn't. And yeah, man, it was just fucking like horrible. I did see somebody's playthrough where Anakin runs away from Qui-Gon and goes, "You." So like it's like holy shit. So let's talk about another video game, Owen.
Yeah.
There was release, I want to say this past week, of Mortal Kombat 1, the definitive edition.
It's definitive now.
It is over. Mortal Kombat 1, which was announced May 18th, 2023, and released in September 2023, has the definitive edition released May 2025. Less than 2 years, and almost 2 years to the date of it being announced. This game is I don't want to do that, Cody. Hold on. I gotta add a call.
So hold on.
Yeah, I will. Quit calling me, fucker. I ain't gonna lie. I am gonna miss the doo 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 boop boop doo 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 boop boop.
Yeah, but from the sky, it's over now, dude.
It's over.
It'll never come back again.
Where the fuck is Cody? There's no ground. All right, everyone. We just had. I guess we have to put the NWO music in for this part, Cody, because you just joined in. It's like, is he the third man? Oh no, I'll get the Bobby Heenan is he the third man? Whose side is he on? You make sure you put that in right here, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, Cody is on the call, everybody. He, like I said, he got done dirking it in the shower. So we are here. I have caught everybody up on me finishing Star Wars Episode 1 on the PS5. Got currently Star Wars Episode 1 playing on my PS5 right now, muted. That's a fantastic beard by Qui-Gon Jinn. I'll say that. Anywho,
The Trade Federation. The Trade
So,
Federation
Cody,
provides. Sorry.
Cody, you actually joined in the call at a pretty good time, man. We just started talking about another video game that apparently finished its life cycle that I kind of called when we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. 2 years almost to the date that the game was announced, Mortal Kombat 1 has put out its definitive edition. It's quite funny because there is no physical copy that's going to be released for the definitive edition. It is legitimately a digital only release. That's how much Warner Brothers cares about this game. Wow. Whew. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I really thought this game, I hated the character changes. Well, one of them specifically. I've talked about that ad nauseum. I was really surprised this game didn't make as much money. Like I said, it still sold 5 million copies. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, damn, can you believe that? Like, this game, like, I got people on fucking Twitter sitting there saying, man, Guilty Gear? Is that what that game was called, Cody?
Guilty Gear, yeah.
Guilty Gear is now part of the top 3 with Street Fighter and Tekken. It's replaced Mortal Kombat.
Dude, anime fighters are back.
Oh boy, I tell you one thing. You get these people online that think, man, this game is alive with the fighting game community. Like, this is what fucking matters. And let me tell you something. The fighting game community keeps business flowing. But it's the sales of the copies is what keeps the franchise going. Mortal Kombat is like close to eclipsing 100 million copies sold as a franchise, which would be number 1. That's even more than Super Smash Brothers as a franchise. So let's like pump the brakes on acting like everybody just hates Mortal Kombat for some reason. I don't understand. I guess you have to be something that's made in Japan for people to be taking you seriously. Like, get fucked. But yeah, Mortal Kombat. You got closing thoughts on the game, Cody, since it's dead?
I enjoyed it for what it was. I know that a lot of people in the community, I think you're one of them, didn't really enjoy it for one reason or another, whether it was the story, the cameo system, or whatever. I liked it. I feel like I got my money's worth out of it, and it sucks that they're ending it again. I think Ed Boon just needs to stop being like, oh yeah, we're going to support this for years and years, because so far that's never happened. And I think
this is like the shortest release support since like the PS2 era, when they had games coming out every 2 years.
Yeah, my real big hope is that they would do something else besides Mortal Kombat. But like you pointed out the other day with what the head of WB Games had said about them focusing mostly on Harry Potter. They did say they were focused on Harry Potter, I think
Mortal Kombat,
DC,
Batman.
Was it Batman specifically, or was it DC?
I think they said did DC, but I think it was Batman specifically. Like, they know Arkham Asylum is what made.
Yeah, well, I know.
That's what they want to go back to.
Rocksteady is supposedly making another like Arkham game now because Suicide Squad was just a disaster. But yeah, I would hope. My wish is that they would just do Injustice 3, but I don't know. I know someone had tweeted it. Ed Boon did like a thing. I don't know if it was on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, where he was like, "Yeah, just like and ask me anything." And someone asked him about Injustice. I think it was Injustice specifically, and he said, "Well, we have multiple, irons in the fire," or however he put it. So I don't know.
Yeah, he said that like 2 years ago, and that's before they
Yeah.
released the Mortal Kombat Onslaught game, which was killed in less than a year.
Yeah, and I
Um,
saw that people also were theorizing that maybe he was talking about not only that, but also like the working on the like them helping with the movie stuff or whatever. So
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
it's the thing is like there's a Twitter account, Rolf Mongler or some shit like that. It's a person who leaked the multiverse game from DC. He put out a tweet that had Injustice in it 3
Yeah.
times,
Yeah,
and
I
then
saw
replied to it with the number 3.
Yeah.
So maybe it's going to be Injustice.
I mean, that's what I would hope because I think that they just need to give MK a break for a while.
Well, they need. I will say this: they need a different style of MK game. They need to go do Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
They need to not do this multiverse shit. We need to put the new era and all this stuff to bed. We need a hard reboot. Like, I mean, not any references to the past, because every game's always been a continuation of the last game. Like, Mortal Kombat Armageddon led into 9, even though 9 was a reboot. And then 9 led up to 11, which led into 1, which was a complete thing, but it was still connected. So,
yeah, I
to
mean, I
me,
completely agree. Like, just scrap it. Like, if you're gonna reboot it, and reboot it like completely. Not do this. Stop the multiverse shit. Like the multiverse stuff. I know when it was like it comes up in MK1 story that it's like, oh, here it's the multiverse stuff. I'm like, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit because it's like I don't want this anymore. Like I felt like they did it enough with MK11. Like, let's move on from this crap. And all it is all the multiverse stuff is an excuse to justify having multiple variants of characters and whatever. That's really what it boils down to.
And I hate it. Like, I wanted to like Mortal Kombat 1. And look, Cody knows I've bitched about it plenty of times, but I'm one of the biggest Mortal Kombat fans there is. I legitimately bought a PS5 to buy this game to have it. Even when I found out Hanzo wasn't Scorpion, I spent close to $800 altogether with tax on these 2 items. And this is the only game I've ever got a platinum trophy in for PlayStation. The only one I've ever finished, top to bottom. I never did the fucking tutorials for the combos because sometimes I don't give a fuck about combos. What killed the game for me, I think, you have to have options for gameplay. Don't mean game modes. Like Invasions mode was okay, but it felt like a grind. I mean gameplay. You needed to have classic single competition. We wanted tag team competition. Cameo was a cool little thing. It didn't need to be the only thing in the fucking game. You completely hamstrung your game. I had some dumbass saying, "Oh, just because you're not good at the game, it makes it a bad game." LOL. It's some stupid shit. I could read off some of this stuff. This dude turns out he's like, I guess he's over 60 and retired and playing video games. I'm like, God damn, dude, you're fucking stupid. And he goes, well, the story doesn't matter in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, the story is the only fucking selling point it has that other games don't have. But
that's a big part of the new Mortal Kombat games. A lot of people would just buy in to see fucking people would just watch the YouTube. Like that's all I do is whenever the story comes out, I just watch the YouTube and shit. People like that.
Yeah, I think people like to forget that Mortal Kombat like revolutionized the way that fighting games even tell their stories.
Yeah. Not a lot of fighting games used to do shit like that. Everyone used to just be arcade mode where it was like, here's a bunch of backgrounds.
Yeah.
Read the manual to find out what the context of what the fuck is going on is.
Right,
here's your endings.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick an ending.
With MK9, you have that cinematic story.
MK
and
versus
DC. Now a lot of MK versus DC, that's right. But now a lot of like fighting games do that same style, and Mortal Kombat or NetherRealm or Midway, whatever, are the first ones to have done that. So to say the story doesn't matter at all is dumb. It's ignorant.
Yeah, because he's like, I hate people that are like, all that matters about a game is gameplay. Like, I'm not a gamer like that.
All that matters about the game is if it has titties or no, okay? And Dead
I
or
mean,
Alive is
look,
kind of winning, okay?
I mean, look, they have taken away Katana and Melina's titties, which is unfortunate because they had some huge knockers in Ultimate NK3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like the
Yeah.
way he said that. It was really funny.
Appreciate it. But no, it's like John Tobias, he wrote character backstories. He had an overarching story in every instruction manual from Mortal Kombat 1 to 4. He, did it for uh, the sub games like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Trilogy, Gold, Mortal Kombat Mythology, Sub-Zero. It always had a connecting thing. Everybody's ending had something that related to the character or underlying thing. Like Mortal Kombat 2, Scorpion spares the younger Sub-Zero when he finds out he's the younger brother of the guy he killed to atone for killing him. He didn't kill Shao Kahn to get to that point, but that was part of the ending of the story going forward. So Mortal Kombat's always had a story. And like I always joke with Cody about Street Fighter versus Capcom Infinite. And it's like Ryu and Mega Man X are fighting together. Good shot, Mega Man X. Thank you, Ryu. Like everybody in that story mode is introducing themselves every third line. And the villain of that game is a combination of two villains. It's Sigma and Ultron. Mortal Kombat did that 4 years prior, Mortal Kombat versus DC with Darkseid and Shao Kahn. Like Mortal Kombat, like their story mode is revolutionary. They need new blood. Dominic Ciancillo does not need to be in charge of writing the story anymore. You can graduate him up. We need somebody new writing the story because he keeps focusing on this shit. You made Shang Tsung the main villain of 2 games back to back. That doesn't quite work. Specifically, when a lot of people online for the last 2 games have been begging to have Onaga back, the Dragon King, who is the main villain of Mortal Kombat Deception. Yeah. And they gave you a little bit of Onaga in Mortal Kombat 1. He's in like 2 endings. Turns out he's this mindless beast that is akin to Doomsday from Superman lore. That's all he is.
He's just dragging his nuts.
Dragging his nuts across the ground. You know what I'm saying?
He's the king of that.
There's the town. Oh, what? Here comes Onaga. He's dragging his nuts around the church bells. So yeah, but that I finished Star Wars Episode 1 on PlayStation 5. Rough. I had to skip a level. I did the infinite. Like you can't die unless you jump off a cliff or get cut up. So I'm just getting shot like 0 health, and I just end up killing everybody. There is a funny bit, Cody, that I was telling Owen. I saw it. It didn't happen to me, but I got close. If you start killing people in Tatooine as Qui-Gon, Padme will tell you, evidently there's a monster going around killing innocent people. And then if you go up to Anakin will run away and go, monster! And it's like, I didn't get to that level. I kept going up to Anakin and he goes, I need some parts for my bond raiser.
Slices a fucking head off.
That game was fucking rough. And so, Star Wars, Mortal Kombat, felt like there was something else. Oh, yeah! Last thing, before we get jumping into the movie. Horror Inc. unveiled the new look that they're going to have for Jason going forward. Like a press release. It felt like the Tennessee Titans unveiling a jersey or some shit. And it's like, for future games and movies, this is going to be Jason's look. And they released what Cody had told me. I didn't realize that they said some artist had done this. But it's an AI image that somebody probably touched up. I'll tell you this. I'm not being hypothetical. I'm not trying to be... That's not the word. Hypothetical. I'll come up with a word in a minute. The Jason in Multiverse looks better than this bullshit they're coming with. Like, this was fucking rough. It looks like some shit you see in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like, my God, man. There's just no fucking way. I didn't understand it. Like, what?
Yeah,
when I saw this, I mean...
This mask sucked, dude. You can really tell it was AI. Like, if you... And that lapel on a shirt and plus just kind of the shading around the mask looked kind of cartoony. Like, the styles didn't match.
Yeah, it's fucking bad, dude. And, I'm going to say this right now. Like, I've given a lot of shit to George Lucas rightfully so, about what he's done with the franchise. I was glad Disney got it. Turns out Disney didn't know what to do with it. I can wholeheartedly tell you that Sean Cunningham has no idea, no fucking clue on how to run this fucking franchise. The only reason why they never got around to making movies is either, I would say, A, they don't know what to write for the movie. Nobody wants to jump in and have him call the shots. And he doesn't want to give Victor Miller any royalties if he can help it. Supposedly this Crystal Lake A24 TV show is still being made for Peacock. And evidently they're going to have access to everything. Hockey mask and everything. So I'm assuming Sean is giving it the okay. You know, sometimes you overthink things. Unlike Friday the 13th Part 8, which we'll talk about in just a second. Man, like, Jason is not a complicated character, and the more you expose a Jason's character, the less interesting and less scary he is. It's like Boba Fett in the original trilogy. All you knew was he was a bounty hunter who had a badass voice before they changed it to Tamora Morrison. And Darth Vader talked to him in almost equal terms. Like, Darth Vader was talking to all the bounty hunters, and he says no disintegration specifically to him. He goes, all right. Like, it was nonchalant. He didn't mind challenging Vader, like, what's going to happen to, what if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me and shit like that. No one ever talked to Vader like that, except for Fett and the Emperor. So, you know, the less you knew about Fett, the more interesting he was. And then you could just fill in with your mind or just read the Expanding Universe books when they'd come out. Jason is not a deep character. And I was watching a video like CC's World, I think. It's like a horror channel that maps out franchises and reviews movies and stuff like that. And he said, Jason is not a character. He's not the paint. He's the canvas that's used to tell other stories within the movie. Yeah, so I don't think Sean Cunningham, I know for a fact he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. People can talk all that shit they want about Michael Bay. When we get to this fucking Friday the 13th reboot in a couple months, you're going to sit there and say, damn, that may have been the best fucking movie made. And everybody's like, well, he wanted to put titties in the movie because that's what the guys want. I'm like, yeah, that's what the fucking guys want. I don't give a shit about Michael Bay and his troublesome fucking thing. His troublesome attitude. Fucking Sean Cunningham has a shitty ass attitude. And he fucking sucks at running this franchise. God, when we have Alex on in about a month and a half or Jason Goes to Hell, I already told Owen this. If you guys sit there and say, you know, this movie wasn't that bad, I'm going to shit a brick live on the podcast. I am just so fucking ready to, like, shit on that movie. Like, I'm mad I have to watch it a couple times.
I've seen that movie. I've seen that one before.
You were like, yeah, you know, actually, it's not so bad. I kind of like it.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
I just read a quote because I was looking through the the Crystal Lake Memories book, Cody. And Sean Cunningham is quoted. I was looking through the Jason Goes to Hell chapter. And he said, I'm not going to, he goes, we were looking at it. There was a 150-minute cut of this movie, and we salvaged like 45 minutes of it, and we had to go back and shoot with me directing to make something salvageable. That movie was terrible. And I'm like, I remember the Adam Marcus guy. There's a quote in that chapter where he goes, you know, for me, it's 1, 2, and then it's my movie, because my movie's really unique. And I'm like, oh, God. You know, it is sad that this movie, I know it's not going to be highly rated among us three. It is the last of the Paramount movies. And Paramount, after this, we'll go into the details. Paramount sold the franchise, but not the name Friday the 13th, to New Line Home Cinema, the house that Freddie built. And I'm pretty sure, like, I was just, like, thinking about it as I was talking to Owen. Pretty sure they kept the name because they had the Friday the 13th series that they were also broadcasting on TV, and they didn't want to give away that name because they own the name for that and syndication rights.
Gotcha.
But this is the last Friday the 13th movie until the Friday the 13th reboot in 2009. Think about that. 20 fucking years. They didn't have a movie with the title Friday the 13th in it. So, woo, boy, that was a lot to lay down. So, gentlemen, I'll start with Owen because I know Cody's gonna talk a little bit about this. Owen, was this your first time ever watching this movie?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. You can tell by me this wasn't my first time. Cody, I believe you said on a couple episodes before you'd seen this movie either in pieces or in full.
Yeah.
When they would run marathons of it on Sci-Fi TV or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was AMC or something back in the day, right? That we
Oh,
used to show
Fear
these
Fest.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out I had seen this in pieces. I had memories of the opening where Jason's in the lake, which is what confused me when we talked a few episodes back about, because I think, what was it, part 7? Was that the one where Tommy,
Part 6 is where he puts him in the lake.
and then he's resurrected it from the lake in 7 and put back into the lake, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but it turns out that part 8. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. One of the headphones died. Turns out that part 8 was what I remembered that scene from, and I remember the opening and I remember the ending, like when they're in Manhattan, but I didn't remember anything from them being on the boat, the Demeter.
Well, yeah, the Demeter. That's interesting.
Jason
of all the
sailed
things I
that
watched,
boat.
he did all the things that we watched. I don't think the Demeter from the Dracula chapter was ever brought up. That's a very good comparison, though. That's pretty fucking spot on. I never even thought about that. Have you finally got a chance to see that movie yet, Cody?
No, not yet.
Ah, damn, man, it is. That's a good. I liked it. It's a good movie. It's not Nosferatu good, but it's still good. I'll never forget the trailer had the fucking Smashing Pumpkins, which is weird. It was like, the world is a vampire.
That seems like such a bizarre song to put to that movie trailer.
It is, man. Universal, like I said, we talk about. I talk shit about Paramount, Warner Brothers now and shit like that, but Universal really ain't that far behind them when it comes to being stupid. The first they release Renfield, and then they release Last Voyage of the Demeter within 6 months of each other. So 2 Dracula movies.
That'd be like
And
if they had the trailers for Wolfman and the song they put on was "Baby, I'm praying on you tonight."
That'd been fucking hilarious. Danimals. I think about that song when it says Danimals instead of animals.
I think I'm the one that started doing that.
Yes,
Strawberry
you are.
milkshake, get your right.
Yeah, Cody's very creative when it comes to just adding song titles. I'll sit there and sing some shit at work, and I'll sit there and think, Cody could have done that better. So yeah, Warner Brothers, they got the international distribution rights of Nosferatu, so they did have their hands on Dracula with a different name there for a little bit. But going back to this is, I watched this first time probably late 90s, early 2000s. Definitely late 90s. I was still a kid. And I was going through the thing. Like I said, my grandma, when she was buying the movies on VHS, she wasn't getting them in order because it just depended on what the video store at the mall had and if she made it out there that week. So first one I watched was part 6 and part 2, then it was part 4, and then part 3, part 1. Like I said, I remember, I was telling you guys, part 7 was one of the last ones I saw because I was counting down, which one of these movies does Jason use a chainsaw? Because every chainsaw hockey mask guy I see in commercials obviously is from Jason. Turns out it was a weed whacker. And how the fuck did he learn how to turn that on? But you know what? Don't worry about it. How does Jason know how to navigate a sewer in New York City? We'll find out.
Yeah.
I think the more pressing thing is how did he sail that ship? And he didn't dock it even.
Well, look, if you ever played the game, Friday the 13th game, and he gets in the water, he like zips through the fucking water like a shark. Like it's all up under water and shit like that. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. He turns into a little red dot and he follows the boat. That's how Cody got me one time when we played against each other. Isn't that right, Cody?
Yeah. So
Man.
just before I forget, a goofy looking shot in this movie is when he he comes out of the water and like grabs the chain to climb up on the ship. It just something about it made me laugh because it's like, man, Jason out in like broad daylight doing this is just silly to me.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking. So I have a complaint about God. His fucking look with the mask off in this movie is god awful. Like I said, the continuity of Jason's look kind of fell apart in part 7. Like even though physically his face, he had all the damage from the past movies. They gave him a complete mechanic suit, even though he didn't have a mechanic suit when he died in part 6, and it's the only clothes he's been wearing since part 3. In this movie, he's just completely like Swamp Thing with a hockey mask. But he has both eyeballs in this movie instead of missing one eye on the left side. He doesn't have the mark from part 4 and shit like that. It's like they just couldn't come up with a look. And to be honest, like I said, well, I'm gonna get into these details about the director. The guy who directed this movie also wrote this movie. And if you remember the last time this happened, it was part 6. Part 6 was a pretty good movie. This was not. And I hate saying that, but I will say this. It's better than anything New Line Home Cinema put out for Jason. Like, it's better than 9. It's better than X. I mean, it's better than Freddy vs. Jason for me. I'd rather watch this than Freddy vs. Jason. Hey, Cody, let me ask you this. Did you think Jason in this movie looked thinner than he did in part 7?
I don't know necessarily thinner than 7, but he did look kind of thin.
Yeah, it seemed like, because I was telling Owen, like, to me, he looked closer to his size in part 6, where he's like 6'3", a little lankier, versus part 7, he's like more broad-shouldered. And then this one, even though it's Kane Hodder, he doesn't feel as broad-shouldered. It doesn't make much sense to me, but he looks like, to me, he looked closer to his appearance in part 6 in like height and width, you know?
Floating around in the water for a indeterminate amount of time will do that.
Oh, yeah. Boy, oh boy, there's an inconsistent. I mean, look, I know his look is terrible when he takes his mask off, but nothing's as bad as when Jason comes up onto the boat for the first time and he's got gloves and you see a human pinky and a human thumb when everything else looks like Swamp Thing. Like he has a pinky and a thumb poking through his gloves, which he should not have.
Well, you know how he preserved them, right?
He stuck him up his butt.
Yeah.
One was in his cock hole and the other one was in his ass.
Well, I mean, I kind of figured, like, oh, well, you know, I everything goes to ass and butts with us, so, you know. No, it is funny. Yeah, I was thinking, I always thought about that, and I was telling Owen, I watched the Crystal Lake documentary. I watched the Crystal Lake documentary with the commentary from the creators. I watched the movie. I watched the movie with the director's commentary and that scene and a couple scenes, and with Kane Hodder and the actors. No one brought up the fact his fucking pinky and his thumb is poking out at all. And it's a couple shots in the movie. Like, I'm not, like, just making shit up here. There's a couple shots you see he has a fucking pinky and a thumb going, like, it's almost like he's doing the Hawaiian. What's up, brother? Surf's up. God, man, that's fucking just rough. I hate the color of the mask. I know this I gotta bring this up too. This is the first Friday the 13th with a new mask since part 3 for Jason. And this mask is just a piss color yellow. Like if you're dehydrated yellow.
It is very yellow.
It doesn't make any sense to me that the mask looks like that. Why does it have an axe mark on the top of the head when he doesn't have it's supposed to be a brand new mask? Like, I just...
he put it in there for the memory. I just realized that, because he gets it from the dude who was fucking...
at the beginning.
Dude, I swear that guy actually had a boner. I was trying to... Because they have a close-up shot of his cock when he's, like, making out with the lady. I swear he actually has a boner.
He probably does when you're feeling titties rub against your chest.
He's like, oh, boing, boing, boing.
It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. This never happened to me before.
Usually I don't get boners looking at girls. I'm sorry.
Oh Jesus, he definitely, he's like, I just, yeah. Jason walks up, and it's so funny. You see so much fucking mud on his shoes when you see his boots for the first time. It's like if you just stepped into, like, it's like in Jurassic Park when he goes, "That's one huge pile of shit." So Jason stepped in that before he got onto the boat, and he's like, "Damn, I fell waist deep in fucking dinosaur shit. What the fuck is this?" But yeah, that mask the kid already has an axe mark on the top of his head. And it's like it's a brand new mask. Like I said, Jason's mask he got in part 3, he had in 4, he got back in 6 and 7 was split in half. That mask is destroyed. So this is a new mask, and it's pretty fucking rough. Like, I just don't like the look of it. And then, like I said, continuity wise for Jason's look when we get to the next movie, out the fucking window. So don't even worry about any of that shit. Let me get into some cold hard facts about this movie. So Jason Takes Vancouver / Takes a Cruise Ship was released July 28, 1989. It had a budget between 5.1 and 5.5 million and made 14.3 million at the box office. The lowest Jason movie to date. So I don't know, Cody, if you noticed that Jason is not in New York a lot in this movie.
No, it's probably only like 15 to 20 minutes, right?
Actually, no, sir. It's probably like 7 to 10 minutes. The shots where it's a dark alleyways, and then they're in the sewer and they're on the railroad cart, that kind of thing. That's shot in Vancouver.
Oh well, yeah. I meant like in the story wise.
Oh, story, yeah, story. It's probably like 15 minutes. The best part of the movie is Jason stepping up on the Broadway strip, and then he's like breathing, and then he stops breathing for a second, looks around like, what the fuck is this? This is new surroundings. That shit's pretty fucking funny. And then when he sees the billboard where it's got the hockey mask, and he's like, what? He does a little Michael Myers head tilt, and then turns back at the camera. Like I said, this movie's got a few good camera shots, but this movie tries to be funny like Part 6 was trying to be funny, and it does not nail, like, whatsoever.
I love the part when Jason's walking across the street on a crosswalk and a car almost hits him, and Jason goes, "Hey, I'm walking here."
And then the Ninja Turtles are like, "Hey, you want some pizza?"
They go, "Whoa, dude, it's Shredder. It's Casey Jones. What are you doing, Casey? Why are you covered in slime?"
That's fucking good. I didn't even make that connection. Hold on. Because I got to look up. I'm pretty sure Batman, the 1989 movie, came out a month before this or a month after. If you're looking at a time frame, yeah, this came out June 23rd, 1989. And then Friday the 13th came out July 28th, 1929, 1989. What the fuck? We went back in time, baby. Marty, you got to go back and watch the Batman movie. It was incredible.
We're gonna go back, Marty. Back to the future.
Oh, boy. So, I'm going to go ahead and go through a few notable members of the cast real quick. Jensen Daggett is the chick who plays Rennie, and I've seen her in 2 different documentaries talking about this, and that chick is as gorgeous as she was then as she is now. Like, she has aged phenomenally.
Remind me, Rennie, is she the one that's like the guy's being like overprotective over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a really beautiful face. Kelly Hu is the Asian lady who's doing cocaine, who's obviously the stereotype of an Asian person being good at science, because she talks about losing her science scholarship.
Yeah.
She plays as Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2.
Oh.
And she plays as the sorceress in Scorpion King, which is a movie that has been canceled on the podcast. So and there's a few, like I said, there's a few other people in this movie. There's a lot of Canadian actors in this. Kane Hodder returns as Jason, and I'll say this before I forget: Ken Kerringer, Ken Kersinger, is the cook that Jason throws into the mirror. You know, the bigger guy. He's probably about a couple inches taller than Jason. He goes up and Jason grabs him, throws him at the fucking mirror. You know,
Yeah.
shatters. He was the stunt coordinator for this movie. He's also the guy who plays Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. So evidently he got his revenge on Kane Hodder for throwing him into a fucking mirror by taking his role in Freddy vs. Jason. So, and like I said, Freddy vs. Jason, that's just, I think it's a bad portrayal for Jason. It should have been Kane. And again, I'm not a huge Kane fan. I've already said my favorites have been Ted White and C.J. Graham as Jason, which is part 4 and part 6.
Yeah.
But, you know, Kane had passion for the role, so I think he should have been able to do it. They wanted somebody taller. It's like, well, hell, there's other ways you can shoot around and make Jason taller for Freddy, you know? I mean, Kane's 6'2". You can put on like some extended shoes. He'll be 6'5". That's what they did for Kane, the wrestler. He really wasn't 6'9". He had fucking extended boots. So let me see here. So I'm trying to think anybody else that was that. So Scott Reeves played Sean Robertson, which is the main guy at the end. They had somebody else shooting for the role for like 2 weeks. They said in the documentary that his chemistry with Rennie wasn't great, but in the commentary from the guys who created the Crystal Lake Memory said that he was told, he was never given an official reason, but he was doing a late night jog, you know, working out, and he slipped and fell and busted his face open, like real bad, and he thinks that's why he ended up losing the role. Anyway, but I did see a screenshot of like deleted scene from him, and he didn't seem like no one in this movie is acting great. But he did seem a little uncomfortable in his role, so that's probably why he got replaced. It's been written and directed by Ron Hedden, who wrote for a show called MacGyver, which was a big 80s show. He got the job because he was writing and directing some episodes for Friday the 13th, the series, the TV show. And so they're like, hey, do you want to do the next Friday the 13th? And like, yeah, sure, you know. And they were kind of encouraging him to go with a different Jason. They were going to try to use a Canadian stuntman to play Jason. Kane Hodder was like, no, I want to play it. So they gave it to Kane. He seemed in every interview, the director, Ron, said, like, I always wanted to go with Kane. Like, it wasn't anything. I felt like everybody, New Line Home Cinema, Paramount was just kind of like, hey, let's go with somebody else so they don't have to pay somebody any more money. That one lady, the producer, Kelly, I can't remember her fucking name. I was about to say Kelly Marcel, but that's the chick who was a producer on the Venom movies. She's a right-hand lady for Frank Mancuso Jr., the executive producer of all these. And she kind of blackballed the director of Friday 7, so he couldn't come back. He wanted to do part 8. I think the original idea was like they were going to have the chick, Tina, in part 7 being in a mental hospital with Jason coming after her. And I'm glad that didn't really work out. That would have kind of sucked. Because they already did a hospital chase in Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2. Trying to think here. So that Crystal Lake Memories documentary came out in 2013. I think the book came out in like 2011, 2010. So, yeah, Cody, I was telling Owen, like, I was looking through the book because I was like, let me just skim through it. There's like 17 pages, and there's like full-size pages of like pictures and notes for just this one movie. This book has 313 pages, and this is like a 13-inch tall book, and it's like fucking 12 inches wide. This is a huge book. It's like, shit, I can't go back. I'm not gonna be able to go back and look at all the chapters. Hey, let me do a summary of all the movies real quick. Like, no, there's no fucking way. This is the last movie that Frank Mancuso Jr. is a part of because he wanted to be done with it. His name had been off the movies since Friday 5. Like, but even though he was still kind of like the invisible hand that was like, okay, I'm gonna appoint a director, someone a writer, you guys go for it. But he was still involved with it, and he didn't want to be a part of the franchise anymore. Paramount didn't either after this because they sold it to New Line Home Cinema after the poor rights. the four financials. All right. Shit. You guys got anything to say before we jump quickly into the plot?
Yeah, I guess
Like,
not.
what do you think about Kane Hodder as Jason in this movie? You think he was a little better than he was in 7?
I actually do think so. I think he had a little bit more character, kind of. He didn't. I can't remember what my complaint was for the last one. I think it was that he was kind of like Three Stooging it. Like he felt like fucking like he was doing a slapstick.
He was getting his shit kicked in by the chick in the first, in part 7.
Yeah. And I mean, this one, he's got a little bit more presence.
Almost a little more violence.
Yeah.
Like his movements are a little more swifter when he grabs people and when he like kills them.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, I will say this: I think this is probably his best performance as Jason. Out of, I mean, that might be heresy, but if you take the performance out of the movies, it's his best performance as Jason to me out of the 4 movies he does.
Yeah.
He just looks like, say, part 9, he looks like a fucking PG-13 Power Ranger villain.
Go Power Ranger.
Right before Rita goes, "Grow, my monster, grow!" She throws the wand at the ground, And he looks bad. And then Jason X is like, he looks okay. It's like this one, it's like he doesn't have a lot of fucking makeup on, and he's just like got really angry movements, and I kind of like that. Yeah. It's almost harkens like when he grabs people and starts choking them, almost like not as good, but almost like part 4 angry Jason. Because Jason, when he kills people, is pretty fucking angry in that movie. Like you can feel the anger. In this movie, I felt he was more angry, or maybe more hangry. I'm not sure.
He was hangry.
Cody, did you have any thoughts on his performance as Jason?
No, not really. Nothing specific.
Okay. Do you think he looked like? Remember, Cody, I showed you maybe a clip. I don't think we watched the whole episode of that '90s Swamp Thing TV show where he has almost like the robotic voice. You remember that?
Vaguely.
Do you think Jason reminds you of Swamp Thing in this just with a hockey mask because he's always wet and nasty looking?
You know what? Yeah, a little bit.
They said it's like, hey, he just looks like Swamp Thing in this movie. I don't know why he was constantly covering goo because he wasn't always in water, but whatever. I guess he kept jumping in the water. You would think he would thaw out. It was like, nah, it's okay.
Swamp dick.
Swamp Thing. You make my heart sing.
You make me
horny. You are amazing.
You make me nasty.
Now, look, I'm pretty sure if we ever cover... Did we ever cover Swamp Thing yet?
No.
Was there a Swamp Thing movie?
Swamp Thing.
Yeah, there was. Did I ever pick that movie? I can't remember if we ever covered that.
We haven't done it on this.
Okay, so if we cover it, I'm going to definitely get that theme song for that cartoon show no one ever wants to claim. And then it's gonna be the fucking intro to that episode because we're never gonna get copyright strike.
Watch us
that
actually.
Song itself was.
We get copyright strike by fucking. God, what's the original song? Wild Thing.
Yeah.
Wild Thing.
Yeah, that shit's so fucking funny. And there's only like 5 episodes. They're on streaming on demand on Pluto TV, which is quite funny. But anyway, so yeah, so. I feel like, because I remember when I watched this movie, my grandma was saying, this is right after part 6. And I had just learned Roman numerals, and I don't think she was paying attention. I'm like, no, this is part 8. I kept counting in my head. I'm like, yeah, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7. This is part 8. This ain't part 7. So, because I was confused, like, why was Jason tied up with a chain around his throat versus why has he got like half a pull deck on him right now? And it's quite funny that they had a pull deck covering him because all Tina's dad does in a part 7 just bust through, grab him with one chain, and pull him down. Now he's got like 4 chains wrapped around him, and he's got a pull deck. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's whatever. The Camp Crystal Lake, we see that momentarily. You got people fucking on a boat. Jason gets woke up with electricity.
Why is there a giant like electrical fucking like like an undersea fiber optic fucking cables? What it looks like under this little lake.
Well, let me tell you this right now. Why in the fuck does Camp Crystal Lake lead to Manhattan. Okay, like it's a lake. There's no mouth. That's a river that has a mouth that leads to the ocean. So evidently, there's some little part of the lake that leads to the river that leads to the ocean.
Why?
I don't know.
My question is, why were they taking a cruise to New York when they're in fucking New Jersey? You could just drive for like an hour and a half and get to New York.
Oh man, obviously it's about the budget.
Yeah, they're
And
like,
everybody's just
the money. We don't have the money. We need to put. They could have just.
Yeah.
They could have filmed them on the fucking like side of the road.
yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I just thought it was quite humorous. The whole thing is just like, man, this movie's just it's a mess, and they know it's a mess. They did the best they could. I give them credit; they did the best they could. Like the boat that they have, like they had a boat originally, but they said like the quote in the commentary was they lost the boat. So I don't know if the owners didn't want to. They got in a disagreement, took the boat back for the production company or whatnot. So they got this boat they call the Lazarus, and you don't ever see a full shot unless you count the shot of it roaring in the ocean with the fucking storm going. You never see a full shot of the boat because it's really fucking small. So they wanted the boat to look like 3 times the size it actually was to make you think there's like 100 people on here.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, I guess they're going for a claustrophobic feel for this movie where it really doesn't feel like claustrophobic, where Jason goes around just killing all these teenagers. Well, pretty much anybody on the boat. There was like 100 people originally. He kills like maybe 10, and then they're down to like 6 somehow.
But on the subway and in Manhattan, he doesn't. He's just like, man, I'm too many people. He's focused, dude. He's locked in. Even.
Yeah,
He's like, his sensories overload. He's like, just go with the 2.
Yeah,
Just go
he's
with the
like-
2. Just go with the 2.
Yeah.
finish one.
He's
meal
like a
before you
special
start
needs kid.
another.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you gotta finish this, okay? Please. What would Mother say?
And
She would say, I hope you're not messing with those filthy girls again. Oh, wrong movie. Sorry, that's Psycho 2.
the characters that he kills off on the boat are like some of the most like cliche '80s characters ever. I mean,
The
you've got,
funny-
like the punk, you
Yeah,
got the punk rocker, and you've got like the film nerd, and you got the the popular girl, but she has a troubled home life, sort of.
She does
The hell,
cocaine.
And
Very
you got
80s.
the science nerd. It's just like, all right.
And then you got the film nerd.
And then the film nerd.
And then you have the
Film
pea
nerd.
bird.
I will say this: Julius, the boxer,
Julius.
has probably the most memorable death of the entire franchise.
Gets his
As-
fucking
as
head
soon-
knocked off.
As soon as they introduce him, and he's like, where the 2 girls are looking down into the room, and he's boxing or whatever. I was like, they're gonna have a scene where he's boxing Jason.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I will say this: as a kid watching these movies, the only 2 dudes I ever thought were badasses because they go to actually fight Jason is Ali, black biker guy from Part 3. He fights Jason twice. Remember, he goes in because he sees Fox got killed, and he tries to fight Jason. He sees he goes shit, and then Jason knocks him out, and you think he kills him. Comes back before Jason can get to the Chris chick, and he gets his hand cut off, and he's trying to fight Jason. And he yells, "Run!" I'm like, that dude's a badass. This guy is fucking boxing Jason like 60 punches to the gut.
Yeah, but you
And
think
then,
after he starts getting a little bit tired and he realizes this isn't doing anything, that I would.
But he
you'd
can't get away
run.
from Jason at this point.
Hmm.
Like that was the point. Was like, what, fuck it. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out swinging, do what I'm doing. I think is kind of the way they were going with it. But he definitely I fucking loved it as a kid. And then Jason, he's like, "Take your best shot." He goes, "Motherfucker!" And then Jason grabs it. It's funny. Jason grabs his collar and then like wraps his hand in his collar, like to make sure he's not gonna go anywhere, and then just fucking knocks his head off with one punch. It was awesome. I'm like, that's like some Mortal Kombat shit. Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah, so Jason kills a bunch of people. Memorable kills. He shoves a hot sauna rock into a dude's chest. Kelly Hu had a pretty cool death. Like when she's running, she goes into the the dance part, and then everywhere she's looking, Jason's there. Like this movie really embraces the supernatural teleportation of Jason.
Yeah.
And I love the her kill. He grabs her, starts choking her, pushing her to the ground, then picks her up. And then he says, They didn't have a stunt woman to do this spot. So when she's dead and he throws her down, she's like, you can't break your fall. You have to play dead. So she landed, and she took it like a champ, landing that spot. So that was a good shot. Oh, I gotta talk about the uncle. You got a douchebag uncle in this movie, and he is played by. Well, fuck you up.
Fuck you up.
Well, bunky.
Let's see here. So it is Peter Mark Richmond. He played in about 30 films and 130 TV series from 1950s until like 2011. He was like on Dallas and Twilight Zone and shit like that. But his role, to me, that always stands out, he's in Naked Gun 2.5. And he's one of the bad guys who are trying to keep the environmental protocols in their favor that runs like the smog factory or some shit like that. And Cody, I don't know if you'll remember this one line is when Frank falls after he's been swimming in the raw sewage in between all the bad guys, and no one's talking, and the guy goes, "What's that smell?" And that's this guy who plays the uncle in Friday the 13th part 8. So I'm like, I'll always think of him in that role as like, "What's that smell?" And then Frank goes, "Oh, that'd be me. I was swimming in raw sewage." I love it.
I said, I love it.
I love it. Those are gonna have to be some movies we cover at some point. Just the fucking, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have to take one movie break after part 9 because I'm gonna have so much hate and venom in that episode. I'm like, I need to take a break and watch something fun. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, so the uncle gets killed, drowned in a green pus-filled drum with a dead rat, which we see the rat alive at the beginning of the movie. And I have a bad feeling no one ever mentions it, that was a live rat that did die.
That it was
I don't know
Splinter.
for sure. Oh boy, it might be. That might be Splinter, because guess what comes out next, baby? Ninja Turtles the next year.
No, it's actually Pizza Rat. That went viral a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. There's one video of some dude, like, they're filming this rat running around on the subway, and this homeless dude is sleeping on like the seat in the subway train. The rat runs up his arm and it's almost like kissing him. Then he's like, he jumps up and shit. I never will forget that. Just thinking about that. I'll have to find it and send it to you. It's just like, oh boy. But yeah, the little rat. It's. I felt bad because the little rat's real cute at the beginning of the movie, because there's a shot of him crawling out of that that little vial, and he's just shaking his head and blinking. I'm like, oh, he's so cute, little baby. Yeah, like I said, some of the kills are kind of generic. There is one cool kill where he throws a guy off the light pole, not light pole, but the radio tower on the ship onto a smaller radio tower, and the dude's impaled. That's a pretty cool shot. There's some things, as I noticed watching that video, that have been reused for Jason X that we'll talk about when we get to that movie. Yeah, so Jason kills these people on a boat. 5 of them escape the boat. Jason follows them to Manhattan.
What about the guy who's trying to be the crazy guy, who somehow knows about Jason as well? I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's like, why does he think Jason's here when he's like on a fucking boat, and like
well,
Jason
he sees blood on the.
He's like,
he sees blood on that boat that's just floating there.
He's like, that's it.
So,
dude, it can't be anything else.
Yeah, he was put in.
I didn't think about that.
He was put in as a nod. He was put in as a nod to Crazy Ralph from part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
You know, your favorite bicycle ride on television, Cody.
Yeah.
But to me, Crazy Ralph, the guy who played him, had a more presence about him than this guy did.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like Crazy Ralph is like the Dr. Loomis of Halloween, even though he's only in 2 movies. Like, that's the one guy that was fucking right. Everybody was like, he fucking stupid. No, he was right.
Dr. Loomis.
Then boy, man, I'm going to have to talk about this ending here in a second. I'm trying to draw this out. So he kills Julius, punching his head off. Like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie after Savannah watched it. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna ask, why is his eyes are always fucking red? Is he like constantly high? Julius, or the actor who plays him.
I mean, he might be. That wasn't discussed in the documentary. I never could find
like
any proof.
His
of
eyes are fucking like red in every scene. Like
they might be. I mean, it was 1989, baby. He might be smoking a little pot.
he's
Got
doing
pink
coke.
eye, got pink eye from that dirty ass water they were.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of water, the shot where he jumps onto the boat, after they get on the lifeboat, he says that he either clipped his nose or his jaw coming up because when they were doing the scene, the boat was drifting closer than what they had intended. So he jumped up, he clipped his face going up on the boat, like for real. Yeah, like I said, everybody's wet in this movie. Like they said, they had to put on wet clothes, get wet, like sprayed with water and shit. Jason's getting sludge thrown on him,
sperm sprayed on
every well cum sprayed on him, and but that's cold. It's chilled well cum. It looks kind of like a really nasty rice pudding.
That's good.
Jesus.
That's in part 11. Jason takes the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, he cuts like a fucking whale dick off. Why why's the Navy like fucking like somebody needs to like figure out what the Navy does, because I don't think they pilot like little shitty like tour boats. I don't know why the fuck it's like say some admiral, he's like fucking, this is my dad. I don't know.
They don't talk about it. What Cody?
That reminds me, the scene where like they first get on the boat, right, and then like the son goes to meet his dad, the captain or whatever, and he's like, well, boy, there's your time to
he's
take
like, you
over
fucking
the ship.
idiot. Yeah, he's like, what's funny to me too is he's just like, all right, well, go ahead, you're in command.
He's like, he's like, you're in command, and it's like obviously not planned. This wasn't expected, right? And he's like, okay, what do you do first? He's like, this. He's like, no, you stupid fucking moron. And like, it's just like,
you fucking stupid idiot. I love how if this was any kind of like official, like even if this was just like a normal business, like, oh yeah, well my son's gonna, he's gonna fucking take over, and like, isn't this?
He's like, no, you don't deserve it.
Isn't this like this is like their fucking like high school senior like party or some shit like that? Like, why the fuck is it like? He's like, I'm passing the torch on to you, son.
Yeah,
no, he's literally coming out of high school.
It'd be funny. He's like, oh, you've never had a day of formal training, but here you go.
Yeah, here you go. He's like,
true,
you're now an admiral in the U.S. Navy, son. Congrats.
Son, piloting a boat for piloting a boat full of horny teenagers is a lot like diarrhea. It just runs in your genes.
Oh God, that is him losing. And then he tells the guy later on, he goes, how old your son? And the guy goes, 19 months. He goes, tremendous age.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing to say.
It is. I remember thinking like, what? And then he's like, take some advice. Don't push him too hard. And he goes, yeah. He goes, take over for me. And it was fucking hilarious. That part is just like tremendous age.
Tremendous age.
I'm gonna start saying that for everything. Like how old's that girl?
Yeah. He's talking.
15.
He's talking.
Tremendous age.
He asked the guy who's like who's like actually piloting the fucking boat. He's like, "What's your son's age?" And he's like, 4, sir. He's like, tremendous. Age.
He says 19 months.
Oh yeah. He says something fucking that weird bullshit age that fucking people give when they're like, no, you
typically do that thing until they're like 2, and then they just go to years at that point.
My son is 20. Yeah. My son is 26 months old.
My son is 240 months old.
I still breastfeed him.
I am going to, like I said, how old's that girl there? 15, tremendous age. And shit like that. I said that twice, Cody, if you want to cut that out. Anywho,
No, I'm not.
So,
editing this
yeah.
one, I'm just putting it out.
Hell yeah! I'm finally going to say the one word I've been wanting to say: neighbor. So Jason chases. Like I said, you have like the cool scenes in the movie where it's New York. Jason knocks over a stereo system, and 5 punks go, "Hey, you're dead meat, slime ball!" And then Jason turns around, and an incredible thing, he lifts his hockey mask
Incredible
up,
age.
and he incredible age. He no, tremendous age.
Yeah, my
Remember, it's
bad.
tremendous age.
Yeah, changing it.
Great age.
Tremendous age.
Phenomenal age. So no, he picks the mask up, and the strap of the mask that's on the back of his head does not move. I don't know if that's glued to the back of the makeup, which I thought was incredible. And they see Jason's face, they're like, "Hey man, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool."
Did you notice that when before Jason comes up, like, and they're sitting on the thing, like listening to the music, like the two punks, like the two main punks, they're like looking deeply into each other's eyes. Like,
Yeah,
it's like almost like sensual. It's really weird. They're like, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, like at the beginning of the movie, they showed them in that same exact position. Like, there's no difference in the scene. It's just like that. And all of a sudden, here comes Jason. Now, here's a funny thing. When they get to New York, and, they're climbing up the subway steps, and they come around, like, the little guard railing, and that's when they see the whole thing. That's when you have the wide shot of New York,
Yeah.
There's actually not steps right there. They're doing the fucking mime walk where they're acting like they're walking up the steps. And they're coming around, and so it's interesting. And there's a dude, I think they said on the commentary, that dude looks like a streaker because he has socks and shoes and a big coat on. You can see his legs. He's not a part of the movie. He's an extra. But there's probably when they were filming, they said there was like a couple hundred people watching them do the scenes at Times Square, and Jason, as Kane Hodder said, he would sit there and like stare off doing his thing, and then kind of cut his head real quick looking at people, and people get a big thrill out of it and shit. So he said that was the coolest thing he ever did as Jason, was get to be there in New York City having everybody stare at him. They also did a Arsenio Hall show, which was like a comedy talk show with Arsenio Hall, and Jason, Kane Hodder, in full getup, was there for an interview. And he did not talk. He was completely in character. So, which is quite funny. They also had the Ultimate Warrior on there, and Warrior was going around throwing couches up and down and shit, acting like the Ultimate Warrior, and it was kind of funny. So yeah, Jason chases them. It has a couple cool scenes. Like I said, when Jason takes future Jason and throws him into the mirror, and the mirror shatters, and Jason walks staring at the waitress who was actually the director's sister. That shot was pretty cool. Someone noticed that. It's like, yeah, it's a pretty cool shot. There's some cool shots. There's nothing great about this movie. Very little is good. It's kind of boring. I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad until you see Jason's face. Like, there's nothing in this movie that's like, oh god, this is just fucking terrible. Like,
yeah, I think I think for me,
it's just there.
This movie is very much like middle of the pack. I think
it's a meddling movie. Like, it's meh. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's not offensive in any way, unless you're really upset that he's not in New York City for more than fucking 3 minutes.
That's me.
But
I'm pissed off.
Yeah,
about
that's literally
that,
me.
It's
literally me, bro.
It does get some points though for being like at least something new, and I think that's something I've harped on a lot throughout this entire series so far with Friday the 13th, is that just too many of them feel samey, a lot of the reason because of their setting and everything. So now new isn't always better, as we'll see with Jason Goes to Hell, but
I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to shit a kid and you guys say, the movie's not so bad. I was
good.
I'll to the phone.
I've seen Jason Goes to Hell once or twice.
And it's a good-ass movie.
I do not like it.
That movie is badly made, and it's a bad story. That is the worst Friday the 13th movie.
What?
Yeah.
Other than, for me, part 1 and part 5.
The only good part of Jason Goes to Hell is the very end. Like this teaser at the end.
Yeah, it's the only scene that's fucking awesome. Other than that movie, it makes no fucking sense lore-wise. Yeah, so Jason, evidently the sewers of New York City flood with toxic waste. at midnight every night. I like how everybody walks into this sewer, stomping through standing water casually. You know, I know they're running from Jason. And it's also just like, do you know what kind of water you're stepping in right now? Like, my God, I don't even think Pennywise would be stepping in that shit. That was gross.
My God, man. What have you done?
Do you realize what you've done? Like in Dumb and Dumber. He's
Realize
like,
what
at the
you've
end, he's like,
done?
done. Wait. I'm sorry. You gotta forgive my friend. He's a little slow. The town is back that way, and there's like 50 gorgeous women. So yeah, it's fucking just ugh. Yeah. So Jason, it has a pretty decent thing where again they're running to the sewer. Jason's following them and just walking, and then he just turns to the left and walks into another thing. Like, how do you know where to go, buddy?
Yeah. He has a mini map in his vision.
You just like the Friday the 13th game. I have told this story a couple times. I mean, I don't know if this episode is going to be released by the time Alex gets on here for Friday 9. But there was this weird dude around Christmas time shopping at the store one time. And he come up to me. He goes, "Hey, man." And his eyes were almost bugged out almost. But he seemed like he was just a normal dude. Other than that, it wasn't like some crackhead. He goes, "Hey, man, I can't find those damn small candy canes." I'm like, all right.
It's the middle of summer, dumbass.
And I know that was around Christmas time. So I go, okay, man, follow me. So I take him down to the aisle.
He'd take him down to the back room, make him suck you.
Show him your little candy.
You're like, I got a little candy cane right here.
That's what I call. Hey, this is what I call my little Tic Tac, baby. Little frisk in your breath.
I got something a little better you can suck on.
Hey, to be honest with you, I was kind of hoping he wouldn't take me up on that offer.
And 9 months later, a beautiful baby boy was born.
But so the guy, and legitimately, that wouldn't be that weird. The guy goes, I'm like, so I go down, I take him down the Christmas aisle. Here, man, here's the can, and turn around, he's not there. That's fucking weird. So I'm like, that's just really fucking weird, right? So I go back to talking to Alex on the aisle we're
ghost
on.
of crackheads.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the best part. I saw what happened to me through Alex, like what happened to Alex. He goes up to Alex, doesn't even fucking pay attention to me. Goes, "Hey, man, I still can't find them candy canes." And Alex goes, "All right, yeah, I'll show you over here, sir." And Alex is walking in direction, pointing in that direction. And I'm saying this from my point of view, right? Alex goes to the right. The dude almost doing like a weird Dusty Rhodes walk while bebopping his head, goes to the left. Doesn't even follow Alex. Like, he completely forgot what he asked Alex. But we had said, like, "Hey, man, you know one of those candy canes?" And then when he was walking, it was almost like, "Hey, man, let's split up. We'll find them." So... yeah, that was like Jason. Jason's splitting up. He goes, "All right, I'll catch you on the flip." Just goes to the other side and starts walking towards him. Kills the dude. Has the fucking weirdest fucking death scene when he gets thrown toxic waste into his face. His mask comes off, and it's just like the fucking most cartoonish looking. Like, even the Part 9 makeup probably looks a little better than this makeup. Like, ooh, this is rough. And then, I don't know, I know Cody has just seen these movies in the last, 5-6 months. When Jason's walking after he gets hit with a sludge, he's kind of, slinking the left to the right. He can't keep his balance and shit. It's almost like that bald dude in the first RoboCop that drives into the waste with his van, and he comes out and his skin's peeling and shit. He's like, "Hey, man,"
yeah,
and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And then Jason... the toxic waste is coming. Jason looks back and sees the water coming, and this, I guess, they revisit this almost in Freddy vs. Jason. Like, Jason's still afraid of the water as a kid. You just hears, like, "Mommy," and he starts puking out this fucking water. He gets drowned in this waste. He starts peeling from the skin, and then all of a sudden you get semi-naked baby Jason just laying there. It's just weird.
I don't get that. I got kind of lost there. It's just like a metaphorical thing.
I don't think they knew what they were going through.
They were just like, I don't know, fuck it.
It was yeah, that was rough. And the inconsistency of kid Jason in this movie. Jason looks like a normal kid, and then he looks like a normal kid with a fucked up eye and missing some hair. Then he's got straight up just long, gnarly gray hair, practically bald, with a fucked up face. Then he's a normal kid again. Like they were just inconsistent with the makeup. Yeah, I mean that shit was kind of rough. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So there's one more like tease of a jump scare at the end, and the dog shows back up. There was a dog in this movie.
Yeah.
Who evidently was a pain in the ass on the set, humping everybody's leg and shit. And he wasn't doing that, but
Okay.
they said Rennie, the chick who played Rennie, said that she knew if she was working with the dog, they were gonna be there till like 6 a.m. because the dog would not do the take.
Damn.
But
He said, I refuse to come out of my trailer.
Yeah, he's like,
Someone brings me the chicken flavored kibble.
he said, I need
Yeah.
Purina dog chow now.
Not this
New England clam
garbage you fed
chowder.
me.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty fucking rough, man. So that's it. I mean, it seems like I skipped over a lot. We talked around in circles, but it really, really, really wasn't much of the plot in this movie. There's not a lot of plot in all these movies. They're supposed to be just a good time. So that was it for Friday the 13th. Jason takes the boat.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm on a boat, man.
Jason's love cruise.
Yeah, the love boat with Jason Voorhees. So yeah, I guess we'll go into the recommendations. Owen?
I don't know. I don't really recommend this one. It's kind of... I feel like if I, was around when this movie came out in theaters, I probably would be pretty upset because I feel like I had been duped. You know?
Yeah.
Because...
turns out New York City didn't like the fact that they had a poster, the I Love You New York poster with Jason cutting through it with his hockey mask.
Yeah.
And they were threatened to sue Paramount. Paramount pulled the advertisement like that because they were a bunch of bitches. Yeah, so you don't recommend it. I get it. Cody, what's your thoughts?
I mean, if you're a Friday the 13th fan or a general slasher fan, then yeah, sure. I mean, you'll probably only watch it once, but yeah, I would recommend watching it.
I would recommend as a Friday the 13th fan just going into it is enjoy the kills, don't think too much about the story, and the main chick's hot. Kind of all I got with that, unfortunately. So real quick on the rankings, Cody, I know you wrote down our rankings from the last episode, right?
Yes, I did. Would you like a reminder as to where you ranked it?
Yeah, I would like for you to name off Owen's order, and Owen, you put part 8 in where you think you would have it ranked.
Okay.
If you don't mind, Cody.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Where the fuck did I put it? Put it in her pudding. Yeah, I found it. Okay. So, Owen, your previous ranking was 6, 5, 4, 2, 3, 7, 1.
I would put this one above 7.
Okay.
So you have 8, 7, 1 as your bottom 3.
Yes, that is correct.
Lance, you had 6, 4, 2, 3, 7, 5, 1.
I'll put it above 1, and I would say, to be honest with you, like if I had to say it, I would say 7's better than this one just because of Jason's look. But they're kind of like deadlock, and like I said, you did say this is a kind of a different story with it going to New York and being on a boat. So, no, fuck, I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna put 8 above 7. So my bottom 4 is 8, 7, 5, 1. Did I say 1 and 5 or 5 and 1?
You had 7, 5, 1 were your bottom 3, so you put it between 5 and 1.
No, I'm gonna put it above 7, so it's 8, 7, 5, and 1.
Okay. 8, 7, 5, 1. All right, let me actually. already placed it because I have a letterbox list where I've been keeping up with this. I placed it right after I watched it, so it was more fresh on the old noggin.
The old noggin. I was about to say the old noggin.
Let's see. So my current ranking would be 2, 1, 5, 6, 8, 4, 7, 3.
That's so. I mean, it's unique. It's so fucking wild to me that 4 is so low. 4 is like the quintessential Friday the 13th movie. Like everything that's good, very little bad. Jason's a badass.
But
I don't. But I know you're looking at more of like different story, and that was more just repeat.
Yeah, I think that was a big complaint of mine when we watched that one because we had already had several movies that just, I mean, they all started just feeling the same at that point. And I know I ranked 5 because 5 is third overall in my list, which is probably, well, no, Owen has 5 at second overall, so I know it's probably blasphemy to a lot of people, but, you know.
I mean, it's just because that chick has huge titties. I get it.
Wait, I forget which one was 5. Was that the one with fake Jason?
It's the fake Jason.
Oh yeah. The only reason I liked that was because it was so damn stupid. Like they had to like eat your fucking slop and shit like that.
The best line in that movie, and probably a top 3 line in all this franchise. And when her son's like, "Yeah, you tell him, Ma," she goes, "Would you shut the fuck up?"
Yeah.
So
that's the only reason I like that one.
So. Everyone, that's it for Friday the 13th, Part 8. Our next episode is going to be hosted by the one and only Owen Wilson over here.
Wow. Dude, Owen Wilson tried to kill himself, dude.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I forget why
so
he...
what do you...
He
actually got broken up with by, I think, Kate Hudson. They were dating. And he got depressed and he slit his wrist or something like that. I'm not making fun of it.
No, you're right. Somebody had told me that it had something to do with Jackie Chan one time. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Jackie.
I
don't think he had a romantic interest in Jackie Chan.
Okay. I just wanted to make
God,
sure.
I love that little guy. Why doesn't he love me? Why does he gotta be straight?
Jackie Chan. I want to do The Raid, which is a 2011 movie that was I think filmed in Indonesia. It's about like a SWAT team that like they basically just raid an apartment block. I've heard from a lot of people that it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, so and I'd never watched it before, so I've been wanting to get around to watching it. So
hell yeah, okay. So we're gonna be doing The Raid next. Yeah. So R.I.P. Mortal Kombat 1. R.I.P. Jason in the studios of Paramount and CBS, and R.I.P. Star Wars Episode 1. I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, I've been having this movie put on the back screen, like on the back. It's muted, obviously, so you're not going to hear Jar Jar Binks going "Misa or Yusa" on the recording. This CGI in this movie is not great. It's not bad, but you can definitely tell everything. Like, you know, this is just like a shade above like a PS5 like cutscene at this point. So it didn't look this bad on VHS tape. Like I said, most things just should be viewed on VHS. But anyway, everyone, thank you.
So real quick before we end, I have calculated the new overall rank based on our new rankings with this movie included.
Yeah, my bad.
So no, you're good. So real quick, the overall rank now from top to bottom, or I'll do bottom to top, the way that Owen likes it.
Yay.
So, in number 8 overall, it would be Part 7. Number 7 overall would be Part 1. Number 6 overall would be Part 3. Number 5 overall would be Part 8. Number 4 overall would be Part 5. 3 overall is Part 4. Second overall is Part 2. And first overall is Part 6.
Hell yeah, baby. Just the way it should be.
So
yeah, that's interesting. Like I said, we got 4 more Jason movies to cover. Like I said, after 9, I may take a 1 movie break, do like a Naked Gun or Psycho 3 or something just to cleanse the palate because I am getting kind of burnt out covering all these movies. I thought it'd be like, yeah, I'll just pick these movies and it'll be easy. And it gets time to like, even last week I didn't do any research and Cody goes, well, I can't do it Saturday. And Owen goes, well, I can't do it Sunday. And so we're like, hey, let's delay it a week. So I had a whole fucking week and didn't do any fucking research until literally yesterday at like 6 o'clock at night and a little bit today. So I'm getting kind of burnt out doing Jason right now, as much as I love the guy. But yeah, so as we're recording this is actually 3 days away from my late grandmother's birthday, and she's the one that introduced me to Jason and Michael Myers and a whole genre of movies I wouldn't have been watching with my parents. So happy birthday, Grandma! I miss you and love you. And everyone, thank you for listening so far. I hope you like and share the podcast, either Spotify or YouTube. Just Google Filmoscopy. We will pop up. We're the only ones. And as always, finish him.